Fucking Vanilla Ice was there.
Didn't some shit crazy happen, Vanilla Ice? I think, because I remember you guys coming back to my place.
Yeah, we came straight to your house after that shit.
I remember, like, you guys were so hyped about so much. There was so much going on. There might have been some alcohol mixed in there.
Like, okay, let me give you some backstory. So, growing up as a kid, like, my shit that I was listening to was, like, Michael Jackson, MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, some other shit too, but that was like my main shit. And Ice Ice Baby, Vanilla Ice is obviously huge hit, was like my favorite shit. And like whenever my parents would have company over, they'd play it and I'd dance. And I'm like fucking 4, you know, some shit. So he was like my idol, bro. I had a fucking Vanilla Ice backpack. I know this shit probably sounds corny, which is, you know, whatever. But I had a Vanilla Ice backpack. I had a fucking figurine of this man I used to watch. I got the behind the scenes Ninja Turtle shit that he did. And I was like a huge Vanilla Ice fan. So all these years later, he goes through all these transitions from being the motocross guy to the heavy metal to this, that. He gets back rapping. He's coming to the Hayloft. So me, a couple of the homies that we used to hang out with, let's go see Vanilla Ice and fuck it.
Yeah.
So we go and he actually fucking killed it. He had a live band, all this shit. Tell me why this dude's like, all right, we got any rappers out in the crowd? Who's an MC out there? And like, for me, I'm like, and I felt like out of the whole crowd, like, the beam of light is on me. I'm like, I am the one.
Yeah.
And all our boys are like, this motherfucker right here, yo. Like,
no doubt about it.
I'm like literally like reaching for the sky, like, you better look at me, motherfucker.
Right.
And he sees me right away.
Right.
And he's like, you, come up. And I'm just like, yes. Now, mind you, at this point, I'm a teenager. I have not had any celebrity run-ins at all.
Right.
I have not had no rapper experience, shit, nothing. So they pull me up on stage, and I get to rap in my latest dope verse, and I have all these punchlines and shit. So I get to rap and and Vanilla is kind of looking at me, and I'm ripping, so he puts his arm around me. So now it's like...
Yeah, validation.
Right? Well, in this particular verse, I had this punchline. Something, Hatch is crazy. I hang you over balconies like you were Michael Jackson's baby. And he's looking at me like crazy, like... And I'm taking it like, oh, he thinks I'm going in like a motherfucker, right? He's looking at me all crazy, so I get done with my verse, and, you know, he's got the whole crowd going... Say, go white boy, go white boy, go right. For me. And I'm just like, this is fucking amazing. Yeah. Like 4-year-old me would have been tripping, you know?
Yeah, without the luggage.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So after all that, you know, I see him backstage, whatever, da, da, da. The night's crazy. We go back to your spot because you had the party house. Everything's great. The next day, my boy calls me. He was at the show. He's like, you got some balls. I'm like, why? Like, because I went on stage and rap? Like, I ain't scared.
Yeah, no shit. What's up?
He's like, dude, why would you diss him like that? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, what'd you say, some shit about hanging you over a balcony like Michael Jackson's baby? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden I put 2 and 2 together because there's this story about Suge Knight hanging Vanilla over a balcony.
Wow.
To get the publishing money from Ice Ice Baby, like to threaten him. So I'm like, oh my, that's why he's looking at me crazy. He thinks I'm dissing him probably. How specific of a fucking line to get hung over a balcony, bro?
He was getting that vibe from you with just...
I think he probably thought I was dissing him, but was a good sport about it. That's my guess, because that's a weird coincidence. But it was like that Michael Jackson shit had just happened, I think. So
exactly, and do you think they...
How many people you know got hung over a balcony?
Well,
I know one, and I said it right in front of him.
Well, 2 technically. Just you had never really been on stage with the other one.
Yeah, blanket.
Do you think that... Because I remember hearing about that, but it didn't seem like I heard about that until years later.
Yeah, well...
And I think it came from something that he said. Like,
yeah, well, he did an interview, and he came out and it was like, I lied about getting hung over the balcony. But then something else came out and confirmed that actually was true. I think maybe, who knows, he might have gotten threatened and he just... I'm going to backpedal that whole story, or I don't know what the situation may be. I don't pass judgment. Especially, you know what? It drives me nuts that people give Ice a bad rap because it's like, he's so much more successful than so many other rappers that you guys glorify. Like, he said he still makes like $2 million a year still to this day off Ice Ice Baby. He's saying in China, like, they go crazy for karaoke on that song. Like, he gets all type of
Karaoke's huge over there too.
They just did a fucking remake of Ice Ice Baby with Rick Ross on it and shit.
Really?
Yeah, and Vanilla Ice is on it. They did a video and all that shit, and it's like, not only that, but he's got the home renovation show he's got. Like, he's in movies. He's getting money. He's in reality shows. So it's like he took that one song and spun it into a 25-year career. It's like, how do you hate on that, bro? This is entrepreneur.
I don't know why anybody would hate. Who cares? I mean, I know he got a little weird or whatever, but everybody did. Like, he was young, and then he got fame, and everyone gets kind of weird.
Shit happened. And you know what? It's like, this dude I know, he had a shirt that said, it had Vanilla Ice on it, and at the bottom it said, rap was a bad career choice. And I'm like, how the fuck was that a bad career? It's the best choice motherfucker ever made, ever.
Right.
Ever. Like, do you know that was like how many singles he sold of that is like, it's like over 20 million or something crazy. He's like, how many songs you know sold 20 million, bro? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
I don't know why anybody would not.
Shout out to Vanilla though, man. He was mad cool. And like me as a young, I guess, toddler, you could say, looking up to him, you know, and all that shit is just like crazy how that shit comes full circle.
Right.
But I've had a lot of weird coincidences like that with music and artists. When I did this freestyle with Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I remember that.
Yeah, you see the shit on YouTube. Yeah. So I already had these verses written a long time ago. I didn't know I was gonna be in this predicament. So I say in the one shit, I'm like,
wait, so they asked you to, how did it go?
I was at, so my homeboy, shout out to WiseGuy Records, my homeboy Aaron, who owns the studio, he had them at the studio. I just happened to be there. We're kind of chopping it up, drinking, smoking, whatever. And so I tell my cousin, I had this little camera on me. I'm like, bro, hold this camera. I'm gonna go up to him and just see if like they'll let me rap. And then you just hit fucking record.
Right.
So they were mad cool. They're like, yeah, spit that shit. I'm like, hell yeah, this is like dream come true shit.
Right.
I'm about to rap for some 50 million records sold, Grammy award winning motherfuckers.
As a fan.
And I just love their shit regardless. So I'm like about to get this clout. I'm like, hell yeah. So hit record, and one of the lines I have, I put my dick up in your girl grown ass physique as I blow past police like Bon Appetit. And it's like, it almost seemed like a play on the words that I'm incorporating Bone's name. Like, and that wasn't planned, but I felt like they were like impressed, like, damn, like, oh shit, he even threw us in there. So Lazy Bone's like, he's kind of gassed off the first one. So I already got a second verse lined up in case they ask. Well, what do you know? He goes, do another one. I'm like, oh, you want to hear another one? And he goes, go in then. Just so happens that my fucking verse starts with, fuck y'all, I'm going in. Bitch, you know it's him. So he just said, go in then. And I'm like, fuck y'all, I'm going in. So it just seemed like off the cuff.
Right.
It really wasn't. Yeah. So these motherfuckers are like, this dude is the truth. And then what's funny is like a whole separate occasion, Hayloft again, I'm interviewing BIzzy Bone. It was so funny. I'm on stage while BIzzy Bone performs, and I got free drinks. I got the hookup. I'm too drunk. Hey, you want to go interview BIzzy Bone? Me with my drunk confidence. I'm like, hell yeah. Well, fucking, I got this in the bag. Yeah. And I did knock out the interview. It was pretty good, actually. But afterward, I had been rapping for everybody. So I'm like, yo, man, I just did one with your brothers. Bone, like, you know what I mean? Like, can I kick a freestyle for you? So in the midst of my freestyle, one of the bars is, I'm the hardest core. I'm going to show you the art of war. You want beef? I'm going to bring it to you carnivores. And the funniest part is Bone Thugs had an album called Art of War. So I'm like over here like, I'm going to show you the art of war. Right. Again, not planned, complete coincidence. But he's over there like, this motherfucker's coming at my neck. Yeah. So he tries to rap after me. He does like 2 bars and he's like, I can't even follow you, man. You ain't finna embarrass me in front of everybody. And I'm just like, oh shit, did that just fucking happen? And they caught it on camera? I'm like, this is fucking legendary. But it's so funny how you just don't realize, like, you just, like, how the fuck would I ever know that shit would fit?
You wouldn't.
So...
And now Bone Thugs will never, ever be cool with you.
Yeah, straight.
You guys
We'll never be in harmony.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just fucked that all up.
No, but like, it's just weird. These coincidences are always happening to me. And it doesn't even seem that believable for 3 things like that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, where it directly correlates with this motherfucker's life. Like, on accident.
That is funny. And I think that specifically the first experience where they're really thinking, like, this dude is literally coming off top, just fucking spazzing. You know?
It's so weird how much it looks like a off-the-top spontaneous freestyle when I've been had the shit prepared.
Right. And they know. I mean, that's sort of just kind of like an understood thing that, like, there's just certain things you know when somebody's really going off top. And then there's other times you're like, dude, it's dope. But dope is dope. I don't care if you wrote it, if you memorized it, But I think it's pretty funny that you're the real bone crusher now.
I ain't never scared.
No, you aren't, clearly.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, super mad shout out to all those guys because they know what type of power and influence they have. And for them to even just let me rock on camera to further my shit, that they don't get really nothing out of that. It's me that, you know what I'm saying, that is reaping all the benefits. So it's just so dope that they're so humble to even, you know, like Vanilla Ice, bro, has done legendary. I mean, they all have. Yeah. Everybody has his name. So for them to, like, even set the platform to, like, be involved in something that's, like, indirectly co-signing me, I mean, those are, like, little stepping stones for me that people don't realize, like, that have built this foundation for my career, you know?
In an industry like that where it's so cutthroat and it's who you know and the politics and all that, people that can remember when that's happened for them, because I'm sure at some point they've had some people that have helped them along the way and have done things for them, to then sort of reciprocate that is pretty cool, man. And it's like, dude, we were listening to Bone Thugs-n-Harmony. Like, make no mistake about it.
I remember the first time I ever heard their shit, ever.
I mean, that's the kind of influence and impact they had at that time in our lives. Because I remember us on Napster.
The days of our lives.
Miguel.
Oh my God. On LimeWire and shit.
Like, dude, I remember that and just being like such a fan, just because they're so unique and so talented and. I mean, I could talk about those guys forever. So, like, to have that and just, it's so cool.
And all those guys, Bone and Vanilla, are still touring, still doing huge shows. Yeah. All these years, like that longevity, man. I don't know if we'll see that again in these generations. Very few people. I think the Coles and the Kendricks and shit. But like, well, just is Juice WRLD gonna be fucking popping in 20 years? Like,
what I will say is I don't know if that will, but what I will say is the people that are really that put out at least enough material that is consistent, like they did, because that's part of it. It's like they just had good music consistently.
They really did, bro. They have classic.
Classics. The reason why people like really are fans of Bone Thugs 20 years later is because that's how good the music that they put out with.
I agree with
was. It's just there's no getting around it.
Yo, speaking of Vanilla Ice, here's a funny story I can mention. I went on tour. My first tour when I was 19, and we're all over the West Coast. And me and my boy, shout out my man DJ Tom Sawyer. So him and I go to like a karaoke bar. It's like our night off, and our hotel has a bar in it. We go in there, and they're karaokeing, right? So I don't know how this happens, but some drunk dude comes up to us, and something along the lines of, you know, he finds out I'm a rapper. So he's like, I'll fucking battle you right now. Some drunk ass, like, 38-year-old white dude, you know? And I'm like, oh, you want to battle? I'm like, I'm looking at Tom Sawyer. He's looking at me like, he's like, roast this motherfucker. I'm like, you go first since you're the challenger. He starts spitting this verse, and I recognize it right away. And I'm like, that's fucking Vanilla Ice, you motherfucker. He was spitting like a random album cut off the Vanilla Ice album. I was such a huge fan as a little boy that it just stuck out to me. I was like, you motherfucker. And he stopped, he admitted it. He goes, you're the first one to ever call me out. I'm like, that tells me you've been doing this shit for a long time. And for you to battle rap people with someone else's material, this wasn't the verse to do. The Vanilla Ice album cut, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't even like, an aggressive.
It's the whitest battle rap I've ever seen.
It's so fucking funny.
I've never heard of somebody going like, listen, I'm going to battle you and I'm going to bite some old Vanilla Ice.
Like, if you're gonna bite anything, I don't think that should be your top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
You do not want to bite ice.
Yeah, that's dry ice right there.
Yeah, it really is. But that is hilarious. That's Vanilla Ice. Oh, you got me. You fucker.
You're the first one to get me.
Yeah, well, you won't get it now.
I'm like, bro, like, you've been doing that since fucking your college days. Shit, not getting caught. You motherfucker, you done barked up the wrong tree today, baby.
Too funny, bro.
He's like, palms are sweaty. Knees.
My cousin used to go to house parties and battle kids with my album bars and win. And he was known like in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan as like the dopest rapper.
Well, they don't even have like Wi-Fi and shit up there.
Yeah,
So
they don't even have fucking.
they don't even know that we exist down here.
I remember their mall is Walmart, like their mall.
Right.
And they were saying like they got a shipment in of like some old Navy shit, and like the whole town went crazy.